Okay, so here we are with the Samsung Galaxy Tab Pro. This is an 8.4-inch Android device from the Korean manufacturer. Now, as you can see, it's pretty comfortable to hold in one hand because Samsung has made a 16:10 aspect ratio, so it's very elongated and rectangular, but it's equally light and easy to grip. So it weighs in at 331 grams, which is actually lighter than the smaller Nexus 7. And it's the same weight as the iPad Mini 2. It's actually got a faux leather finish on the back here, with the fake stitching style here on the side, and on the back it's got an 8-megapixel camera with a flash. Down at the bottom you've got the micro USB for charging and hooking up to your PC or Mac, and you've got dual speakers there. And interestingly, on the side here you've got micro SD here, I'd say that's for up to 64 gigabytes of extra storage, and on the other side you've got infrared sensor here, so you can use it to control your TV if you want, and then you've got the usual lock and volume keys there. So moving on to the key feature is really the display here. So as I mentioned, it's 8.4 inches and it's got a resolution of 2560 by 1600. And it is bright. It's not the brightest tablet on the market, but the colours really do pop, and it's particularly good for stuff like viewing pictures and video playback. So I'll just try and get something on screen for you and show you. So it was Iron Man, and see that there, so it's pretty good playback you get there. Now you'll notice on this it is running Android KitKat 4.4, but Samsung has put in the hardware button. So this one is multitasking and this one is back, and then you've got the home key as well. So it doesn't have the context sensitive on-screen buttons, but it still works pretty well. So you're running multiple apps here, and then I can just switch to whatever I want, so I can go to the internet, and it is sometimes there can be a bit of lag. It's not I wouldn't say it's quite as smooth as an iPad, but it is running a Qualcomm 2.3 gigahertz quad-core processor, and it does have 2 gig of RAM, and one of the things that I really do like about the tablet, try again. See, it's little glitches like that which maybe mean that it's actually can't quite compare to iOS, but when you do get things running, usually everything does run quite smoothly. So here I can see I've just loaded up IT Pro, and it loads up the full desktop website, and it actually does look pretty good, and it does that for most of the websites around. So even stuff like the BBC, it's just like browsing on a desktop, and it you can always zoom in, but it doesn't default to mobile websites, and it makes full use of the display, which I find really good. So moving on to just some of the other interface stuff. So when you swipe here from the right hand side, this brings up a panel, and you can actually have multiple apps open at the same time. So I'm going to have that's the My Files app, and say I want to watch a YouTube video at the same time. So now I can do two things at the same time. You can resize it, so if I wanted to check what videos I have, or check what files I've got, and browse the internet or browse YouTube at the same time, I can do that. But this is limited to the apps that are preloaded, so stuff like Chrome Video, so stuff like the MX Player. When you click on that, it will tell you that it's not supported, so you can't use that. But it is good. So just if you ever want to check your emails while browsing at the same time, you can do that. Now, in terms of business features, it's got quite a few preloaded. So here you can see it's got WebEx, Remote PC, e-meeting there. It also comes with Dropbox. It's got the usual Google apps there, for Google Play Store as always, and it's got the Samsung apps if you want to sign up to that. And it's also got Handcom Viewer, so it's like a kind of quasi-office app preloaded there. And one of the things that I really do like is the new design of the icon. So it does look very much like Tizen, which is also another open source operating system which Samsung is heavily involved in. Something I really like is the how all the settings apps has been redesigned. So this is going to be rolled out across all the latest Samsung Galaxy products. So here you've got all your network connectivity stuff. When you click on device, it brings up other cool things, and the customization options that you get with Android are just so much more greater than anything you'll get on iOS, and that's one of the big attractions you get to this operating system. So here you can see I've just changed the font for everything. So even when I'm browsing the website, the font there for the address bar and everything is different. So just quickly back to there, then you've got the controls. It still does have some of the gimmicky features like Smart Stay and Smart Pause, so when focusing on your eyes, but they're not open. Open by default, so you can always activate them later on if you do want to use them. And then you've got here, if I just go to security, this does come preloaded with the secure Android, which Samsung refers to as Knox. So basically what that does is it acts as a container, so it sandboxes all your apps, and Samsung's also going to roll out a two-factor authentication, and it's also going to support stuff like VPN Plus and allow IT admins to manage these devices using third-party tools from companies like Good Technologies or CA Technologies. And there you can see it's enforcing there at the moment. So the official version is Android 4.4.2, and then it's got the Knox kernel there built into it. And as you can see, you can encrypt the device, you can encrypt the SD card, verify apps. So in terms of security, Samsung's really got its finger on the pulse here. So that's the interesting things there. A couple of more features that Samsung has introduced is this magazine style interface when you swipe from the left hand side, which you can customize. So here you've got news, sports, arts, technology. You can refresh it, or you can choose which source that you want to display. Internet connection is not the best here, but it will bring you up with a list of things to choose from. And also, if you continue to swipe left again, this is more of a business focused thing. So here you've got your calendar with all your meetings and appointments. Here it's got a little widget for your latest emails, and if you have any office applications, you can just tap that and quickly go into them, and then there's some business news there at the top as well. The only disappointing thing I'd say on this is that Samsung has put in a small battery, so it's 4,800 milliamps, I believe. And in our Iron Man battery test, where we looped the HD video, it lasted just short of 8 hours. Now, when you compare that to something like the iPad Mini 2, that got 12 hours 15 minutes, and that was with the Wi-Fi off as well. So all our tests were with the Wi-Fi off. So that's like a 4-hour difference there. So you can expect the battery usage to be even less than that when you are browsing the web. So that's quite disappointing, because you can't take the back off on this product, unlike Samsung's phones. So you're stuck with the battery that you've got. And I'd say that's the only real weakness, because other than that, the design's great. You've got the expandable storage, you've got all the apps, you've got fast Qualcomm quad-core processor, 2 gig of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage, or 32 gigs if you need more internal storage. It's got all the Wi-Fi wireless connectivity options you could want. It supports all the main Wi-Fi standards, Bluetooth 4.0. Yeah, it's just a really great device. It starts at £350 which does make it a bit more expensive than competing products. But for the things you have preloaded onto it, for the great display you've got, just for the design, and you will get support from Samsung. It probably won't be quite as good as the Nexus 7 because they will skin it with the TouchWiz first, so you won't get the latest version of Android straight away, but it's still pretty decent. And one of the other good features I'll just show you quickly is the camera. So you can take pretty good shots with that 8-megapixel camera. I do like it more than the iPad Mini. It's just the battery life, which could have been better, which would have made this I would have recommended it without hesitation if it matched it on the battery life. But I'd still recommend this if you are out for an Android tablet.